It's the 24th of May, sorry, cut. 24th of May 2013. We're on the farm visiting with Louis and Thierry van Tonder. This message is for my grandchildren and my 3 other children, Anneliese, Mark and Angelica. I just want to tell my life story. I grew up in a little place called Marie.She in South Africa. My parents, Jannie and Kyntjie now, were remarkable people. I was born in a little place called a Moedersbond. It was not a hospital because doctors and hospitals were very far away from the farms. My parents were remarkable people. They were always caring for other people. My father was the headmaster of a school, and my mother was always cooking for the children at the boarding school. We grew up between all the kids. I've got 3 sisters and another brother, but I was actually a very lonely child because there's a big difference between my sister's age. My father was a headmaster of a little school in Marie.She. My mother was caring for all the kids and cook for them. She baked like 24 breads a day in an outside little oven. They were very remarkable people. One of the things I will always remember of my mother is that she went out when the black people went into labor, and she helped them to bring about 100 babies into life during her lifetime. My father was teaching, and she was doing the cattle farming. So she was really a strong woman for the time that they were living in. One of the things that showed me what a special person my mother was is her outreach to people in need. She went out by night with a lantern to help black people when they were in labor, and delivered over 100 babies. One of the characteristics in my father that I adore the most was his character: strong, honest, and the ability to lift people up and see the best in themselves. My mother was also a businesswoman. She was farming with the cattle while my father was teaching. My childhood was really uncomplicated. I was a loner because I was much younger than my brothers and sisters. I met Helmut when I was still at the high school, and we got married 2 years after I left school. It was a blind date, organized by my brother-in-law because the 2 of them played rugby together. Helmut had to come to the farm after his father got very sick, so he gave up his study. He was studying for a teacher, and that's the reason why we were living here in Falwater all the time, going through a lot of ups and downs in life, but still love staying here because for me it's one of the best places in the world. I don't think it was love at first sight, but I adore him from the beginning. From the first time I saw him. Oh, this good looking, tall hunk German guy.
Cute.
Yeah. And we've got 2 adorable daughters. Anneliese is married to an English guy, Mark, which is like a son for us. They've got 2 beautiful kids, and I've always said I would never choose a better husband for my daughter. And he said it's just because he's so hardworking, but that's not the reason. It's because he's such a good guy, and he loves my daughter. He's taking good care of her, and he loves his 2 children. Then we've got Angelica. One of the most positive things in Anneliese is her caring and loving, and the way she's one of the best mothers I've ever seen in my life, because she's so caring, and she just loves her children, and she's just looking well after them, educate them very well. And she's still in love with her husband, even after 11 years of marriage, which is giving me such a warm feeling around my heart, in my heart.
Mm.
And then we've got Angelica. She's just left school and is now doing her A-levels in Pretoria. So she's starting new life, or real life, for the first time. But I think she's got a very strong character, and I believe she will go through life with faith, with courage, and she's a lovely child. And I'm really thankful for these blessings. One of the best blessings in my life is my 3 children and my 2 grandchildren. Then there's Natalie, our little granddaughter. She's turning 11 in August. She will always be Oma. Natalie, this is especially for you. You will always be Oma's princess, and I love you till the moon and back. And I know you're going to be a very, very special child. And I know you will reach whatever you want to reach in life. And then there's that little boy Joshua. Oma loves you so much. And I know the girls are going to be as crazy about you, because they love you now. You're not that bully type of person. You're a lovable little boy. And I just want to say you are also very, very special for me. What I've learned about life, it's not very easy all the times. I grew up in a very unaccomplished world and area. But then when we've got married, we had to go through hard times. But I've also learned that in the small things, you can see, if you're thankful for the small things, that's what's important in life. Don't always look at what money can buy, but at what you've got as a gift, or the people surrounding you, or the caring of your family and your friends. That's what really matters. And I'm really thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the environment that I'm living in. This property for me is a gift. And I'm really so happy to live here. If I must say something about myself, one of the characteristics is that I am a very caring person. I really got a passion for people that are hurt or that life hasn't treated so well. And I've learned through that to take away the eyes from myself and reach out to other people. And that's what I would love to do for my whole life, is to tell people that they are special, to show them that there's a purpose in their life. They are not just there, but that they are something very special, created by a very special God. Okay, I want to say something about Anneliese. She's also a very caring person, not only with her children, but the way she worked with Mark's grandmother when she was living next door. Anneliese was always going to buy her some groceries. She looked after her when she was sick, and I think she's got that passion in her also for other people. For Natalie, our granddaughter, soon 11 years old, Oma can just say, I love you till the moon and back. You will always be my little princess. And a very pretty one too. Joshua, our grandson, Oma loves you over 1 million. I know you are going to be a very popular guy, because the girls are going to love you, because you are so caring. My wish for you too is that in everything you do in life, you should know that love is the greatest of all. No money, no wisdom can compare with love. Love Jesus and make him your best friend. Having these 5 kids in my life is one of the things that are making me happy. I've been through great challenges in life, but one of the highlights was to start a very successful business in landscaping with an old wheelbarrow and one rake. For me, this was the most rewarding and satisfying thing I've ever done. It is so special to work with God's living plants and to actually just rearrange that which He has created. A last word to my husband Helmut. Thank you for keeping up with my nonsense, although it's sometimes tough. And thank you for my wonderful kids and grandchildren. You are part of the reason why they are so smart. I love you. There we are. One of our biggest challenges in life is to cope with two different personalities because he's German, I'm an Afrikaans girl. It was two different cultures, it was two different languages. The advantage of me coping with everything and adapting so easily is because of the great respect I had for him and his parents, for the way they were doing things, and for I loved the way they cooked, the way I loved their traditions, so it was easily for me to adapt it. And that showed me that you can get along with a lot of people if you are just respectful and if you see each person as an individual and having respect for his ways, their ways of doing things.
Nicely put. Tell me about his parents.
They came from Germany. Actually, his father read a book when he was 12 years old. Du meine Heimat, Deutsch zit West. That was the old, today it's Namibia. In the olden days it was Southwest Africa. And his father he met his wife, Helmut's mother, before he left Germany. And then he went to Namibia and lived there for a couple of years. She came out with the last ship before the war broke out, and the ship's name was Pretoria. They got married in Namibia, and they were married for 1 year. He bought the champagne to celebrate their first anniversary. Helmut's eldest brother, who died in an shooting accident, was a little baby, and just before they started celebrating their anniversary, they came and arrested his father, and he was in an internering camp for 6 years during the war.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So how did they end up here?
Okay. I think Helmut must tell you that story.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as he will.
His English is better.
They're making the fire, getting ready for the braai.
Thought of coming to Africa was when he read a book about Namibia when he was,
12 years old.
12 years old. And that time he decided that's a country he wants to go to. But 1936, he left on the ship to Walfish Bay on his way to his dream. But he met my mom before that, and she came out to Namibia just before the war broke out with the last ship, the Pretoria.
And then how did they end up at South Africa, though?
During the war, what do you call it, incarcerated for 6 years.
Wow.
And then he had a choice when he was released in Pretoria, either to stay in South Africa or go back to Germany, but not back to Namibia.
Where was your mom all this time?
On the big farm in Namibia, all on her own, 5,000 hectares. And she sometimes said she would walk back barefoot
Over the sea.
back home.
Oh. After she would visit him?
No, she could never visit him.
In 6 years?
In 6 years, never saw him. Oh. And my elder brother was born in the meantime, just after the war, before the war, or during the war.
Yeah, before the war.
And that was all she had was that little boy.
Oh, oh.
And this boy was, in 1949, he was killed by accident by a friend, shooting accident.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that must have been so heartbreaking for them.
Yeah, that was very heartbreaking. But fortunately, me and my sister were born, and my brother.
And then how did you end up in South Africa and here in this farm? How did...
My father drove around in that olden days called Transvaal, looking for a place we wanted to farm. And he was impressed with this area, with the water we had. Open water, clean water. And that's what he decided to come here.
Now, how did he save up the money? He was incarcerated. How did he get the money to...
He started his own building business.
Oh, okay.
And those days was all in pounds, and this land was very cheap. So he was able to buy it.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And then he built this.
Yeah, he built everything on this farm.
Louis was pointing out the rock work just in the fireplace, which
fireplace, yeah. Every stone is 1 millimeter smaller than the next one. That's why it goes up like that.
And then what did he do? He farmed what for years?
He farmed with cattle, and we started crops, maize and peanuts. But it was a disaster. It's not actually agricultural land. This is more land for game and tourism.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What was your childhood like growing up here?
Oh, it was nice, but before we could start playing, you had to have a certain job to do. Cut the lawn or help with the milking of the animals before you could go out and play.
So did you have a dairy?
Now we had a dairy where we delivered cream. Every farmer in this area used to have his cream and send it to the Pretoria for, at the end of the month you got a nice check from the cream. In Farwat at the station, when you go there were hundreds of 5-gallon cans with cream. And the train coming from Nylstrom, which is Modimolet nowadays, had to stop at every spot where there was a dairy can standing next to the railroad. And stop it and pick it up, and stop and pick it up.
So you learned farming from your dad?
Yeah, I learned that from my dad.
And ranching, and you've carried that on here?
Yeah, and we just decided with the prices going down for cattle farming to divert this farm into a game farm. Our game farm is, the farm is fenced by 2.4 meter high fence, and then you introduce the game, you buy it on the auctions. But we were fortunate, there was that time was quite a lot of kudu in the area, and we could catch a lot of kudu onto the farm. But the other game we had to buy. Dad passed away in 1997, and my mom in 2004.
Yeah, I remember she was a very sweet lady.
Yeah, she was 91,
Oh.
and my dad passed away when he was 88.
Huh. So what are your best memories growing up?
Now, the best memories of my dad is hardworking, and everything had to be perfect. And my mom was a housewife, and she had to cook and look after the children, because we had friends who stayed with us with also 4 children, so she had to look after 7 children.
Oh, wow. So she was a busy mom.
She was a very busy mom.
Well, and how did you meet this cute lady?
Oh, that was a blind date.
Aha. And what did you think when you first saw her?
Oh, what a little girl. I'm not interested in this little girl.
When did you know that she was going to be yours?
Not much later.
Not much later, exactly.
So the chemistry, the sparks flew.
Yeah, the sparks flew. I met on a blind date through my brother-in-law. We were playing rugby together. There was, after the rugby, there was also always a party. And I had nobody to come with me. So he said, why don't you take my sister-in-law? So I said, why not? And that's where it started.
Well, she already told me her first impression of you. She says, this big hunk of a handsome man. So what do you think has been your biggest challenge thus far in life, as a couple, as a family?
Let me think about it. Now, after 40 years marriage, this year I think it's, what,
41.
41 years. It was not always easy going, but it was nice. First, it's with the birth of Anneliese. She was so small. She laid on my hand and it was just like that.
Oh, gosh.
And then 19 years later, Angelica came.
That's a long time for a second child.
It's a very long time.
Well, so what happened? What took you so long on a second child? What's the story?
Practice.
I just couldn't feel pregnant. Fall pregnant.
But it was a miracle, actually, because we went to Bloemfontein for a year. Every 1 week in Bloemfontein, that's around about, 700 kilometers from here.
Oh my gosh.
3 weeks at home, 1 week in Bloemfontein for more than a year.
Wow. So you were determined, and then when you heard...
No, then nothing happened, and then at one stage we decided you would just leave it. And then it happened on its own.
Natural way.
Natural way. I think we forgot to do that natural way before.
Well, and then when you found out you're going to have a child, what did you do?
It was,
I was shocked.
she was shocked. Because a friend of hers said to her, when we came back from Kruger National Park, I had a dream that you are pregnant.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And she said, don't talk nonsense.
I think I am, but please don't tell me that.
And then this was Angelica coming.
And then, so, can you go move here and I can get you both in the shot?
There was a big problem before she was born. They took some, what you call it,
Blood test and
they found out she's a Turner syndrome. And we had a choice to have an abortion or keep her. And that was one of the most difficult times in our lives. So, and at the end we decided to keep her. And fortunately we did.
Describe her to me.
you describe your daughter.
You can just describe her.
It's your turn. You describe your daughter to me.
Yeah, I've done it already.
She was a beautiful girl, and I had to give her injection for 3 or 4 years
6
every
years.
day,
Wow.
growing hormones. That otherwise she would have been a dwarf.
Oh, wow.
And
how did she take him? Did she go along with it, or did you have
she
to...
went along with it, and
Yeah, but she
it was
didn't.
difficult because every day for 3 years, Marie.
Yeah, it was 6 years.
6 years I had to give
And that
her.
must have hurt.
Yeah,
it was
in
like for
in her
the
leg.
and in her tummy.
Yeah.
It
geez.
was like for sugar diabetes, so it's a
Uh-huh.
little small injection, not that big, but it's irritating, and you can imagine for a little girl
Yeah.
having that from 5 years old,
Yeah.
5, 6 years old.
And then after all that, what?
Yeah, she grew a little bit, but not as
Yeah,
much as
she
we
still-
hoped to. But then it was at the stage that they said she had to get some stuff to let her breast grow and everything. And suddenly we saw she's starting to getting breast without any medication.
Oh, wow.
So that
So
was the
that's a
second
big-
miracle.
That's a big miracle.
Because the first miracle was when she was born. She was the most prettiest little baby, and the outer
Signs of.
signs of Turner syndrome is that they've got a webbed neck and that they are not looking very good. Down
Okay.
syndrome, you've got one extra chromosome.
Okay.
Turner syndrome, you've got one less. Male's factor that's not there.
Okay.
The male hormone.
So you've had more than a few miracles in your life.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. And,
Yeah.
and they said also she wouldn't be good with the math and all that stuff, and she did quite well at school. Nobody could say there's something wrong with her.
Tell me about your grandkids.
Oh, my grandkids, I love them.
Oh,
Natalie and Joshua. Natalie is my special girl. I miss them, but we can't do anything about it. And my son-in-law is a good man. He's a good husband, hardworking. And Anneliese, our daughter, she's, I think, one of the best mothers I've ever seen. She loves the two children.
so what would you tell them are the important things in life? Your grandchildren and your daughters and son-in-law?
Yeah. Those are my special people in my life, and this thing here.
Really?
Yeah.
We've got our differences, but who hasn't?
What did you do to make it work?
Just love her. Sometimes not that easy, but it worked.
Sometimes not that easy. Yeah.
Anything you want to add? Is there any more stories about your parents or your brothers and sisters? Or
No, not a lot of stories, because they're not nice stories sometimes.
yeah, sometimes life
We
gives you
don't
that.
talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bietjie weg van die son.
Ja, kijk wie zo.
Bietjie nou weg. Bietjie nou weer mee. Lekker, lekker, lekker.
Move your head, please. The other way. Just waiting for that leopard in the street.
But the reticulated giraffe that you get in Kenya, oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. Now my puppies. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hey, grandmama.
Nou sing hy in Duits. Ek vertel dit vir Leon en Lise. En Helmut wat die babatjies.
so in Duits.
Ja, dis my so. Such a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Oh, lovely.
By die piknik, by die piknik.
Goeders aan de land verkocht. Ja,
wonen.
ja.
Cheers man, salute. Wil jullie allemaal te zien?
Cheers.
Dankie. Dat ons sit en sap drink. If you think what we drank at the hotel after
Rugby.
we come back from the
And
rugby.
from the army.
Yes, no, not from the from the army. And
Shooting practice.
I'll tell Terry that story now.
Oh, great.
What's that? What was that?
Ja, die komt het.
I was 2IB. And then she had to notify all, yes, I had rank.
Ja. Die voelt samurai.
And she had to phone all the people to say, on such a day, at such and such a time, we must get ready and we're leaving from this place in Valwater.
For shooting practice or something.
Yeah, for shooting practice. And so this chap said
Now
to
then
me,
when you came back, you went to the bar.
Ma, we
Okay.
leave it now.
Okay.
You can tell the other story of that you know.
Okay, Mom.
When we came back from we went to the bar and he said, luister, jy moet vir jou fucking vrou, mag my voor haar sê fucking. Jy moet vir jou fucking vrou sê, mens wonder. So Louis said to him, luister Jan, if you call Willie fucking, it's okay. But his wife did this out of, it's not her job, she did it out of pure love and it's got nothing to do with the army. So he said it again. Sê vir jou fucking vrou, sy moet my nie weer dit van die môre bel nie. Here, he climbed him and he gave him. And he gave him
Good hiding.
No, a good hiding. So he got up. And when he got up, we went to him again. Hy sê jy dog nie genoeg gehad nie. Dwada. It is the first time in my whole life that I saw let's call it a white man on his back lying there and said, yes, I've had enough.
Love you guys. Whoa.
Bye bye.